All right, back here on One Bills Live. Chris Brown, Steve Tasker with you on a Wednesday, and joining us in studio is Bills rookie tight end Jackson Hawes. And Jackson, before we came back on, was just telling us about how he spent the bye week up in Lake Placid, checking that out. I have never been to Utah myself. Did it remind you at all of Utah landscape-wise?
A little bit of Deer Valley, yeah. Kind of some of those rolling hills and, just like pretty kind of old buildings. Yeah, a little bit of that for sure.
Okay, yeah, I figured there might be some similarities there.
How much time
ski towns.
How much time do they give the team off? Did you get Thursday, Friday?
I want to say maybe like 5 nights. I was up there for about 3 nights.
Right.
So
Nice.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah, it's beautiful country up there for sure.
What's been the focus since you've been back, since Monday?
Just kind of regrouping, kind of getting our feet underneath us, staying on that same goal, same mindset, coming out strong and just, playing together.
I know that Coach addressed, I'll tell you what he said in a second, but I don't have to tell you, like penalties have cropped up these last couple of weeks, 11, and 8, which is too many for any team. And Coach was asked about it today, and he said some of the themes are line of scrimmage penalties and holding penalties. And you guys that block kind of get caught in a tough spot sometimes, because if the ball carrier is coming around, play is designed to go inside of you. You're setting up for outside leverage, and then that ball carrier bounces it, and now you're out of position leverage-wise,
Right.
but you still want to make the block for the guy, but that's when refs are almost 10 out of 10 times going to call you for holding on that.
Totally.
And it's not your fault. It's because the leverage of the play has changed based on where the ball carrier is taking it. How do you kind of – because you can't see where he's going, so how do you play that? I'm just curious, because you got to let go and just hope he can make it instead of hanging on, right? How do you work that?
Yeah, I think for me, just like a big thing in my blocking is, you're kind of staring at your target where your hands are going. And I think just kind of like periffing that defender's eyes, seeing kind of when he starts
Oh, so you're watching him. Yeah,
just kind of seeing his eyes, because that'll take him where his body goes. And at least me, if it's kind of an awkward angle, I'm just out of there and kind of trusting James or raise speed. So yeah.
And that's the running back, they know the direction and where the play is supposed to go, and a lot of rarely does it go exactly as you envisioned it, but you really do have to trust that he's just going to bounce, and if he bounces it, he sees something that you can't control anyway. So how what is your cue for like, okay, I'm done here?
Yeah, just kind of when I feel his eyes looking out, and then I feel him trying to separate himself, that just is kind of telling me like separate myself as well. Kind of helps too also to kind of wear the same color gloves, so that the refs can't see it. Anything that'll help us out there.
Got to talk to Dawson about that. He's a red glove guy. Georgia Tech by way of Yale, you use that extra year eligibility to go play in the ACC. I love Brent Key, by the way. Great coach. But maybe just walk us through that decision there. Are you trying to increase your exposure from the Ivy League to the ACC? Maybe just walk us through the decision to play one more year before going draft-wise.
Yeah, I think going into that decision, obviously priority number one, it's kind of a selfish decision for me. I've got one more year to play.
Yeah.
I want to maximize that. I want to go to a spot that is going to really utilize my strengths. I felt like the offense at Tech was something that, they really harped on. They believed in me through those meetings and, through me coming out there. And I just felt the passion, man. That was the first thing that I really felt from Coach Key. They're one of the only programs that, I FaceTimed, every offensive coach, got on a call with them. They were really excited. And I just felt like the love and what they were kind of building, they're going up. And, I wanted to be part of it. And, you look at them now, man. Knock on wood.
Yeah.
They're balling. They are balling right now. So it's fun to see.
What's been the best part about being here in Buffalo?
The best part, man. There's a lot of great parts, man. I can't really pick just one. I really do like being next to the lake, though. It's pretty.
Okay.
There's a couple cool lookout spots just along the coast next to the little abandoned factories and stuff.
Yep.
It's just kind of a nice place to get away and calm your mind. So that's one of them.
We should tell you, player interview appearances on One Bills Live are presented by Tim Hortons. Tim Hortons, the official coffee of the Buffalo Bills. Looking at your involvement in the scope of this offense right out of the chute, obviously that's any rookie's dream because you're on the field, you're contributing right away. What was your anticipation, though, coming through the spring practices? You kind of got your feet on the ground, you got a feel for the scheme. You saw you were involved, but I imagine you didn't want to count your chickens. So how did you kind of parlay the spring into training camp preseason and ultimately a role right away?
Yeah, I mean, I think that you kind of come out here in May and you're like, wow, the season it's like 3-4 months away.
Yeah.
You know, it's a long time away. So I think that like a big thing for me was just not getting too ahead of myself. Just kind of focus on what I can control, you know, focus on that OTA practice or that walkthrough or whatever. And just asking questions and getting good advice from the older guys. You know, Doss, Reggie, Dalt, those guys are all really good football players, but they're really smart football players too. And I just think that like leaning on them as much as I can, on Coach Boris, Joe, kind of hearing where they see me fit has been good.
Yeah, you got out of the gates. You're scoring 30 points every week, and then the last couple of weeks you've struggled to score 30. The turnovers and the penalties have hamstrung your ability to score points.
Yeah.
What have been the conversations like after the last 2 games about what you can fix and where your team is and you and your teammates are?
I think that just like staying on rhythm, you know, we're really good when we're on rhythm, good first downs, good plays, good second downs. And then kind of getting out of some of those pits. You know, you kind of look statistically, a lot of 2nd and 10s for us have been turning into 3rd and 10s and kind of like avoiding that, you know, through the play calling and through the execution of the plays and just kind of fine tuning the details. That was one thing that we really harped on in the meeting today was just we don't need to freak out. You know, we know we're a good offense and we know we can run the ball really well. We know we can pass it really well. Just fine tuning stuff, getting the details right, working on the blocking, hands inside, running your feet, things like that.
I know it's a tight locker room, so tight that guys don't feel shy about teasing one another. So has there been some Ivy League teasing? Because there aren't a lot of you guys, you know, around. Maybe people equate you more with Georgia Tech, but I mean, bottom line is 4 years at an Ivy League school, and sometimes you get teased for being the brainiac or stuff. You get.
I haven't got any nerds.
Okay.
I haven't got any nerds. I think that me maybe being kind of like this, like true Y kind of like blocking guy,
Blue collar
is a little bit, you know,
it helps.
They kind of go like this, right?
Yeah.
And so, haven't really gotten any.
All right, so we got to ask you the fan question here.
Let's do it.
Which is presented by, of course, Tim Hortons, where we ask the fans to ask the Bills players a unique question. Raymond asks, who's the toughest Bills defender to block?
I think Groot. Groot has consistently given me the hard length, power, athleticism, man, misdirection. He's tough. He's really tough.
Because when you have a guy that long, he's usually getting his hands on you before you can get your hands on him, right?
Almost every time. Almost every time.
So that's got to, that is a haul. That's a battle.
Yeah, and just kind of like that too, like just kind of my role is just a lot of blocking the DNs, and pretty much every time I'm going against a guy with longer arms, so just kind of learning you know, how to defeat it.
Well, listen, thanks for the time and stopping in here, especially fresh off the practice field. Sorry we didn't give you time to get a shower, but we're off the air in about 30 seconds. So thanks for making time for us. We appreciate it.